voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Welcome, everybody, here to this channel. Welcome to the Sports Talk Network channel. Thanks to everybody here watching live archive. Welcome to follow me on Twitter at WWE_podcast. This episode, or this Smackdown episode, being on October 24th, 2017, this day in the Badger State again. Raw last night being at the Rush Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and tonight the BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Inside of SmackDown Live tonight. Great things happening in Wisconsin, right? Maybe not the best things happening in Wisconsin, because in Indianapolis, Indiana, where Stephen A. is where the whole Shield stuff has been happening the past many years, with them forming, breaking up, and reuniting. But still, Wisconsin being awesome here in the Badger State. Anyways, let's talk about SmackDown Live. It was a pretty good show. I do have my SmackDown Live Insta poll so far here in the start of the show. But the question of what do you guys think of it? As always, it's great, good, okay, or terrible. 26 votes, the most votes I've got ever so far in the Raw Insta poll or SmackDown Live Insta, so any of my Insta polls for WWE events. 26 votes, 23 hours left. 12% say great, 38% say good, 31% say okay, and 19% say terrible for SmackDown Live. So far, good is winning. 38% were good. So I'll go back to it at the end of the show, end of this episode, and share it from there. And then, as always, on Thursday for Steve's Wrestling Ramble, I share the final tally for both Raw and SmackDown Live Insta polls for the week, as I do. Maybe now that I'm doing it more and more often and actually doing it, it's coming up other people. It's maybe not, well, not the feeds, but on the other thing where you have the hashtag Raw or SmackDown Live or SD Live, as it is with on Twitter. More and more people are seeing it to vote on it, whether or not they're subscribing to the channel or following me on Twitter. It's up to them accordingly. But I think anybody that does vote, I appreciate it. I really do. Well, it's true. It is dang true, and that's raised the Raw general manager Kurt Angle, and I assume that Kurt Angle himself and the Raw brand was to come to SmackDown Live tonight and have retaliation. Like, I even had that as the headline on the main thing for the SmackDown Live review. Before that did not happen, and I had to change it to something else that happened tonight on the show, right? So I thought that was going to happen. Now, what could happen is that, and just think about it this way. We have the Road to Survivor Series. We have SmackDown Live, which technically has already been on the road, but Raw now finally getting, off from the break, I'm trying to think of this as actually going on a highway. Like they took off ramp. They're at TLC now. They're getting back on the highway, get on the on ramp, and back on the metaphorical highway to this big pay-per-view being Survivor Series. So now Raw and SmackDown, both brands, are on the road to Survivor Series, and now you can both actually, and I can actually have interaction teasers and otherwise of matches and situations with SmackDown Live and Raw talent. So to do so, and at the main event segment to end the show of Monday Night Raw, you have Shane McMahon and SmackDown Live invading. As I would say, a better invasion angle than even the invasion angle of 2001. But you have SmackDown Live invading with Shane McMahon, hashtag Under Siege, and doing that. And maybe we have the final show of shows of Raw and SmackDown Live, which of course SmackDown Live being on Tuesday nights, the go-home show for SmackDown Live. That when finally actually Raw does strike last, right? SmackDown Live strikes first. Raw strikes last and waits all the way to that point, as Daniel Bryan said at the end of the show tonight, but when that they actually will. And that was interesting in its own right too. Something else was bringing up that was between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. First, Daniel Bryan not approving of not telling him about the planned attack, and not liking the strategy of doing said attack that they did last night on Raw. So that's teasing Daniel Bryan to be in the ring and wrestle or something in the future in WWE, or teasing him to be out the door in WWE as his contract ends in September of next year, but maybe storyline-wise and otherwise to him off television sooner rather than later, even though that sooner, as much as I say sooner rather than later, the soonest of the sooner being after WrestleMania. But who knows? Maybe he actually does stay on TV as GM all the way to SummerSlam. Who knows? But it's certainly interesting that they kind of between the commissioner and GM and Jimmy McMahon kind of putting Daniel Bryan in place late in the night. So that going back and forth and how that went, beginning, middle, end of the show. And at the end of the show, Daniel Bryan, Jimmy McMahon, Raw will strike. Hopefully you're ready for it and answer for it because that's in your job description. That was, kind of the back and forth there. Because in the middle part, Daniel Bryan talking about him giving his opinion, because that's in his job description, and Shane talking about his job description, and everybody's job description. Okay, good. Good to know we know what people's job descriptions are. Good to go, good to know. But moving along with the start of SmackDown Live, Shane McMahon coming out face-to-face with Sami Zayn for the first time since WWE Hell in a Cell event. Let's go. So that was something cool to see. Shane McMahon saying Sami Zayn there tonight will be facing the Viper Randy Orton in one-on-one match. Winner gets to be on Team Blue for the Battle of Raw vs. SmackDown Live. Now, I was hearing things on Twitter from people, and I don't mean people from my interaction on Twitter that I do interact with in the long conversation kind of there. But that match was supposed to be for who's going to be the captain, and then there's supposed to be Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler tonight, and other things, which is going to happen in that way. Now, Zayn did face Orton, but it wasn't for who's going to be the captain. It was for who's going to be the first one as the team, part of the team member. So, okay. Guess that works. But either way, that match being made official there by Shane McMahon himself to Sami Zayn. John Benjamin and Chad Gable defeating the New Day. Too much really to say about this. Good match. All good. To have John Benjamin and Gable get the win over former tag team champions, a great tag team as the New Day are. You never know; they could have a SmackDown versus Raw tag team Traditional Survivor Series match. Get everybody that was involved in this in the first melee and whatever's going to be the second melee, because everything was strategic and how everything went on during the invasion angle moment last night with Shane McMahon and SmackDown Live. Obviously, choreographed and planned. Therefore, I could be building something else up. So I wouldn't mind having a third Traditional Survivor Series match being with tag teams. So last year, might as well do it again. I should do it each and every year. Each and every year, tag teams, Raw vs. SmackDown Live. Women's champions, Raw vs. SmackDown Live, and Universal Raw vs. SmackDown Live for as long as they plan to have this brand extension to continue in WWE for foreseeable future. But for John Benjamin trying to give it either one here, moving forward on its own SmackDown Live storyline, having whether they are the number one contenders to whenever they do face. And I know Michael Cole was saying on commentary that if Natalya is still the champion, if Jinder's still the champion, if the Usos are still champion, and if Baron Corbin, this and that for their matches as Survivor Series champion versus champion in regard. Yeah, they definitely should be champions in Survivor Series. Not because the other people are incredible, but it's just hold that off to the next pay-per-view. And if I'm correct, the December pay-per-view event, when it goes back to the individual branded pay-per-views, Night of Champions or Clash of Champions, whatever it's going to be called this year, is a SmackDown Live exclusive event, if I'm correct. And if I'm not, let me know in the comment section below. But if I'm correct in that thinking, and we have... can have those sort of matches there. I still do hope that Clash of Champions and Money in the Bank become two branded pay-per-views. You can have them spread out, have all the titles be on the line for Clash of Champions, and you can still keep Survivor Series the way that it has always been, a Raw versus SmackDown. The one time a year it is Raw versus SmackDown Live. At Clash of Champions, you just have all the titles being on the line. So you won't be having champion versus champion matches. You'll be having all the champions of Raw and SmackDown Live defending the title, and even more so building up Money in the Bank and Clash of Champions to be part of the main six, as I would call it, the 6 main pay-per-views, the big six, as I would call it now, or the main six, whatever you want to call it, of WWE pay-per-view events. Even stronger when the brand extension ends and you have one main big roster, regular WWE roster. But I do enjoy Reynolds and this Raw vs. SmackDown thing and the ending of Raw and how that went down was awesome. I already brought that up in the Raw review last night. You're welcome to watch that if you haven't already. So I think the 44 individuals that already have, as I see here. Sin Cara defeating Baron Corbin reaches disqualification just like last week, only in a different way. Look forward to that match. That probably will be a title match again. Hold all the title matches off till Clash Champions. WWE Champion Jinder Mahal responds to Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. I did like the one-liner, found it interesting, and I did kind of roll my eyes, even as a fan of Jinder Mahal, and do want him to be WWE Champion to WrestleMania for the many reasons I've been saying. Have him hold that title that long. You know, make his title reign even more incredible than it already is. And then when he does drop the title, he still is a main event guy, or should be, at least to some or most of the WWE audience, just like my amigo and fellow Packer fan, BC Amplified here on YouTube. If you don't know who that is, just search on YouTube, BC Amplified, spelled as it sounds, and you'll be hearing his thoughts on Jinder Mahal, because me and him, we at least agree on that. I may disagree on a plethora of other points that he makes on his channel, but that I do agree, along with, you know, being Packer fans. Go Pack, go. But we do both agree Jinder Mahal's title reign has been successful. He has been good. I think that ball ran with it and done well. And Jinder Mahal should win against Brock Lesnar. But I did still roll my eyes when he said that he's Brock Lesnar's worst nightmare. Now, that might be true if Jinder wins, because it'll be a nightmare for Brock, kayfabe-wise, in that sense, moving forward. But I think Jinder Mahal, they have to have them, and I think they kind of are. To me, it seems like WWE's back in the corner. It is best to have Jinder Mahal getting the win, build up his kind of credibility, and have him maybe holding the title all the way to WrestleMania. That would be awesome as well. AJ Styles defeating Sindal Singh. Too much to really say about that. AJ wins in quick fashion. Bada bing, bada boom, move on from there. Becky Lynch defeats Carmella, Naomi, Tamina, and Charlotte Flair. And that's pretty much the team. All of those beautiful, awesome, talented women. Becky Lynch, Miss Money in the Bank Carmella, Naomi, Tamina, and Queen Charlotte Flair, part of Six Flair Live. And as I predicted on Twitter, at least at WWE_podcast, so you can check there to be sure, I did get 100% correct, A+, if it was a test, for predicting at least this one team of the 4 teams in the 2 Survivor Series traditional matches that we have so far, or named so far. Well, I have not 100% correct, but I'm sure pretty much 100% of people would have that correct. It doesn't take a genius and too much work or thinking of who would be part of this women's SmackDown, the SmackDown Live team for the women's division. For the thing is, as I've said kind of in the past, or at least I've thought in the past and believed, that SmackDown Live in quality is better than Raw, even though Raw is better with SmackDown Live in quantity. Raw better than SmackDown Live in quantity in the numbers, like 12-6 there. But SmackDown Live being better in the quality of the women's division than Monday Night Raw, at least to me. Because I think Monday Night Raw is a two-woman race there, and the rest are just there good and whatever. But it's Sasha Banks and it's Alexa Bliss. They're on their own plateau, like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in the NFL. And there's everybody else. They're good. They're starting quarterbacks. They're their own franchise quarterbacks for the other 30 teams in the NFL. But those 2 are the best. In the Raw Women's division, Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss on that division, and the rest are good, great, have a place, but not on their level, in my opinion. Again, just my opinion there. Of course, obviously, just my opinion. But Becky Lynch getting the win, becoming the captain of the SmackDown Live Women's roster, or Women's Division for Survivor Series for that team, for the Blue Band. And me, I'm always Team Blue. Hashtag Team Blue. Hashtag Team SmackDown Live. Go SmackDown Live. All that stuff like that. I mean, I really need to get myself a SmackDown Live t-shirt. Even though I probably, when I finally would get one, the brand split, brand extension would be ending shortly thereafter. But still, Team SmackDown. But Becky Lynch getting the win, becoming the captain there. Awesome for her, especially last year when she was the champion, but wasn't the captain. Not Naomi. Natalia actually was the captain last year. Now she's the champion for SmackDown Live, representing SmackDown Live. That brand is their champion, facing Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, the goddess, Alexa Bliss. Randy Orton defeating Sami Zayn to become the first member of SmackDown's Men's Survivor Series team. So I already have one wrong there. I'll probably have another one wrong because next week we have Dolph Ziggler facing Bobby Roode for a spot on the team, for the men's team. So unless something happens down the road 2 weeks after that and forward, or therefore after, they won't probably both be on the team. So I'll probably be in those wrong. But at least I have one team of the 4 teams in the 2 matches for traditional Survivor Series getting 100% correct, or getting a passing grade, so to speak. But Randy Orton, part of the team, not the captain, but the first one to be named and to earn the spot on Team Blue for the men's Survivor Series, traditional Survivor Series match for Survivor Series. There was also Bludgeon Brother promo and fashion file thing. Not too much to say about there. I do still think and hope and believe, and you'll see, how all that goes. But do hope that Luke Harper can get a singles run again. Will be a champion again, who knows? But I certainly would hope that to be the case for him to get a chance and do well in that regard. But SmackDown Live, all in all, like I said, if I could vote on my own SmackDown Live Insta poll, I would vote. It was a good show. And I do think, and I already will predict here live on air, so those guys can go right back to the tape and even queue up this moment right here and on the prediction show, or on your own prediction show that you do on YouTube or otherwise that you want to share from watching this. I would appreciate that. Just let me know ahead of time. Raw will invade SmackDown Live, go home show, final segment, and the final show for any of the shows heading into Survivor Series. You heard it here first. I'm sure I won't be the last one to predict that or think that, or at least predicting and thinking and say it out loud on national airwaves or national international airwaves here on YouTube Nation. But I just wanted to share that. And like I said, anybody that does reviews or does prediction episodes, I want to use that clip, more than welcome to. Just let me know ahead of time. Again, at WWE Podcast on Twitter. So I think everybody watching live, those that will be watching archive, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will be back for you all tomorrow night, as I do. Now I seem like I do a video every single day with different things, Monday through Friday. So definitely, if you are subscribed, if you do ring the bell, you'll get an email every single day with videos, with my videos going live. So I apologize and don't apologize about that. A little bit of both. And it's up to you if you want to watch whatever video or not during the week. But point being is, I think those that do enjoy it, I think all that have subscribed to the channel. I did have my special video, 500th video, before the Raw review. During actually Raw was going on air. While the show was going on, I had to have it on mute, of course. But did my 500th video special. So I thank those that watched that, and for the thumbs up and support. Thumbs up in that video as well. But like I said, I'll be back tomorrow night for the Talking Packers with Steve, the NFL podcast I host, going into the next week and seeing how things go and how the Packers do moving forward without Aaron Rodgers out for the rest of the season. He did have successful surgery for the broken collarbone, but has to be an IR. And above all else, as always, take care.
Politicians are liars. I see darkness falling. They talk to me. They tell me things that I will